Tonight, air quality concerns, a forest fire threatening a community and power station in Saskatchewan's north, and residents return to Jasper. Also, a battle between a hockey academy and a senior men's league has a city organization trying to make money stuck in the middle.
And then I can just dribble around her. That's good defense.
Plus, giving back to the community. A Saskatchewan Olympian returns home and is helping influence the next generation.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Friday, August 16th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Good evening and thank you for watching. From sunny skies earlier this week to a thick haze of forest fire smoke. It's been a tough couple of days for air quality, and we are not unique here in Saskatchewan. It's spreading from BC all the way to Ontario. And as Alexander Silberman reports, it's creating some challenges for people with health issues.
Tara Livingston is spending a lot of time stuck inside, worried about her health.
My quality of life is being affected by the smoke.
She's recovering from a stroke and has severe allergies. So the air quality around her Calgary home makes it difficult to breathe.
Even if I go 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then I find myself wheezing and my nose starts running and I have to come back.
Much of the prairies are dealing with a third straight day of smoky conditions. Air quality bad enough. Environment Canada warning everyone is at risk, regardless of age or health.
Some of the smoke has gone south of us, but then because of the weather patterns, because of the wind direction, it's actually sort of come back and back into the prairies from the south, even though it originated from the north.
In Regina, smoke gradually blanketed the skies, with the city expected to hit a 10+ on the air quality index.
Yeah, I try to keep the kids indoors just because it affects their respiratory system a lot more than it does us. So.
It made doing anything outdoors more difficult.
Gonna have to bring the inhaler, I think.
The Rough Riders game still a go, but some fans are nervous.
Oh, we'll still be going, yeah. But if it gets worse, then yeah, we'll probably just watch from home.
Those smoky skies carry harmful particles, according to this expert.
It's the smallest which are the most damaging for your health, because they're not only getting into your respiratory systems, they're able to get into your cardiovascular system after that.
Here on the southern prairies, air quality is expected to improve over the weekend as smoke drifts east. But people in the north will continue to see hazy skies as nearby wildfires keep burning. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Regina.
And our weather specialist, Tyreek Reed, joins me now. And I'm wondering, Ty, how is the smoke situation now?
Well, it's definitely spreading across most of the prairies, as you mentioned, Sam. Here in Saskatchewan, we're seeing that to the north and in the Churchill region, and we're also seeing that further down to the southwest and to the southeast in areas like Estevan. As we head into Saturday, that's when we'll see that smoke spread back into central areas of the province like Saskatoon. Because of that, we're going to want to keep our eye on the air quality index. Heading into Saturday, we could see that reach a 10 in areas like Buffalo Narrows. Over in Saskatoon and Estevan and Swift Current, it'll be sitting at around a 7, but that could climb to a 10 as well. Here in Regina as well, air quality index right now is around a 5, but as we head into Saturday, we could see that number elevate. Heading into Sunday, that's when we'll see the smoke clear out for southern and central parts of the province, but of course our friends up north will still be dealing with all of those smoky conditions, and I'll have more on that in my forecast coming up, Sam.
All right, thanks, Ty.
No problem.
Over in Alberta, residents of Jasper are being allowed to return home today, the first time since a massive wildfire tore through the town site more than 3 weeks ago.
People need to rebuild and go through the ashes of their houses.
Only residents have been given permission, and visitors will be directed away. Officials want to give people time and privacy to assess the damage before tourists return. No timeline has been set for that. About 5,000 people were forced to flee on July 22nd. The blaze destroyed about a third of the town's structures. In the northwest area of Saskatchewan, a forest fire continues to cause evacuations, which still includes Sandy Bay. The fires are threatening the Island Falls Power Station. It supplies powers to most of northeast Saskatchewan. We're told the station is surrounded by fire breaks and that crews are regularly watering down all relevant buildings and infrastructure to minimize risk.
With the current situation, we have ample staff to, as I said, keep normal operations going, yeah, it's extremely unlikely that operations will be impacted by the situation.
The fire has remained roughly 3 kilometers from the power station the last couple of days. McGregor says everyone is hoping for cooler weather and rain. In Saskatoon, police are investigating a suspicious death. It happened at a house on the 200 block of Avenue I South, and police are still trying to identify the person who died. Dan Zakreski brings us that story.
Saskatoon's police chief knows this is an unsettling image.
Anytime a circumstance like this occurs, it's a blow to the community. It challenges individuals' sense of safety.
It's not clear yet whether this is the city's 12th homicide. Police are tight-lipped about the investigation so far, saying it's a suspicious death. They will not say the gender of the person or how they died. In fact, they've yet to identify the deceased. This suspicious death comes less than 24 hours after police presented their latest stats to the Board of Police Commissioners. The bottom line in the stats? Violent crime is up this year. There have been 11 homicides in the first 6 months this year. The number of assaults are up too. Cam McBride says the unsettling reality is that with violence on the rise, the numbers could be much, much worse.
In all my years of experience, there's just no way to predict these things. We can take all kinds of measures to reduce violent crime, to support people in the community, but at the end of the day, often the difference between an aggravated assault and a homicide is millimeters or seconds. And so we just never know what's going to happen.
This is the second time this year a body has been taken out of a house on this block. In February, Jason Horse was identified as the city's third homicide victim. 3 men are charged with killing the 48-year-old during a home invasion. Cam McBride says he doesn't know where this investigation is going to lead, but he says moving into a busy summer weekend, keeping the community safe remains a top police priority. Dan Zakreski, CBC News, Saskatoon.
A familiar name has entered the race for mayor of Saskatoon. Don Atchison is hoping to make a city council comeback. He's the 4th candidate to declare so far. If elected, he says he'll reverse recent rezoning decisions meant to increase the city's affordable housing supply.
We're going to change what we're doing with the fourplex. We're going to go and we're going to rescind that motion that the city's put through to allow people to have fourplexes on every lot in the city of Saskatoon, higher buildings closer to transit as well. It's absolutely devastating. It's going to destroy the fabric, the character, the heart and soul of Saskatoon.
Atchison was mayor for 13 years until he lost in 2016. That's when current Mayor Charlie Clark won the seat. Other names in the mix this time around include Councillor Cynthia Block, former MLA Gord Wyant, and Kerry Tarasoff. Civic elections will take place across Saskatchewan in November. A group of Regina senior hockey players say they have nowhere to play this fall, and they're not happy about it. The ice time they've rented for decades at the Brand Centre was recently taken away. Alexander Kwan has more on their story.
There'll never be senior hockey or old-timers. They're taking away old-timers hockey altogether.
A private hockey academy and a group of senior hockey players are locked in a face-off over ice time at Regina's Brand Centre. Dennis Todd says the adult teams have a long history at the arena and they've made connections that transcend the sport.
Most of us have had ice time for over 30 years here. One team has had it for 40 years. This is our meeting place. You got 20 seniors teams. We meet amongst each other. We play. We have the odd pop after. There's a friendship here amongst our teams.
But now Todd says he doesn't know where or if he'll be playing hockey at all this fall. Regina Exhibition Association Limited, or REAL, recently signed a partnership with Young Guns Hockey Academy. It is now in charge of the Brand Centre's ice time. The ice will primarily be used for its own teams, which play in the privately owned Hockey Super League. REAL and the Academy have not responded to requests for comment. Todd says the senior hockey players were not consulted. As for Young Guns, they appear to be less concerned with adult recreation and focused on attracting attracting and developing young athletes. In a letter to the senior hockey players, the founder of the academy said, quote, "I hope any ice that is lost by past groups over the next month can be made up for you with more development opportunities for your grandchildren or children over the years," end quote. Regina's mayor says she's already received plenty of feedback.
Anytime you're going to surprise the public, and again, I'll say in a civically owned asset, it has a tendency to strike up communication into my office, is how I'll say it.
Masters implied this entire dust-up is because of a shifting role at Real. The municipal corporation is carrying millions of dollars in debt it can't pay back on its own, and council has directed it to try and start making money so the city doesn't have to repeatedly bail it out.
If you're told to be commercially viable and you can get a check written that exceeds what you're currently earning, maybe that's fair. I think the inherent problem in this, from my perspective, is the community benefit.
The mayor says she met with some of the senior hockey players this week. She plans to raise the issue at City Council next week. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
A beloved shop owner and champion of the Weyburn art scene is being mourned. Melanie Hise was 49 years old when she died July 20th. Hise's family says her contributions to the community will be remembered for years to come.
Lots of connections with people coming in and lots of support from people coming in, both emotionally and spiritually as well. If you look around the store, you'll see all kinds of things that are on display here from people within a 30-mile radius of Weyburn, and she did a really good job of supporting local folks with that. Melanie was also very involved in the arts groups here in the city. The Weyburn and District Music Festival, she volunteered there many times in all the disciplines. Specifically liked doing the theater and the musical theater.
Her presence and everything that she did for us and the family and everything is just, couldn't have asked for anything else or anything better. So
she cared a lot about everything she did. If you came in here, she'd definitely try to make you feel like you're welcome. I think that's why so many people supported the store. Like she was the store.
That was one thing that Melanie was great at, is making a quick connection with somebody instantly, and it was a genuine connection. And if you told her something about you or your name or your a favorite food or something, she would remember that forever, and she'd bring that up the next time that she saw you. Many sad faces and lots of wet eyes around here the last couple days.
Yep.
Well, the smoky air of late did not stop this little guy from doing his job. A little bumblebee out for some pollination work in Regina. As we slowly move toward fall, a lot of gardens around the city really are in full bloom. So what's to come for the weather as we head into the weekend? Tyreek Reed will have your forecast after the break. Stay with us. A Saskatchewan Olympian is back home in her home province, and Paige is taking part in a 3x3 basketball tournament in Saskatoon. But at the same time, she's giving back to the game and inspiring young ballers.
Next to Alaska. We just got back from Paris, and now I'm in Saskatoon doing a camp with these wonderful young female leaders and basketball players. So excited to be home and excited to be working with them. So being a high-level athlete and having so many amazing experiences in sport and growing up in Saskatchewan, it was really important for me to be able to give back, and I've just been able to receive so many wonderful things. So to pay it forward and work with now younger generations of female athletes, I think is so special. So to be home from the Olympics and be able to share this experience with them is really important.
And then I can just dribble around her. That's good defense. Right now we're all here for the YXE Urban Games. So Paige will be in a tournament with her 3x3 team. And there are also other teams that have been registered. They're coming from all over Canada. And this is a urban sort of cultural event that Discover Saskatoon has put together. And we're here to host a community camp for the kids as well.
I grew up in a town of 5,000 and went on to earn a scholarship playing basketball and then played professionally. And then I became a single parent to my now 5-year-old daughter, Poppy. And that was really hard. Had so many barriers and wasn't able to return to 5-on-5 professionally because of the family that I had. So made the pivot to 3x3 basketball, and fortunately it worked out, and we just came back from the 2024 Paris Olympics, and now I'm just excited to be back in Saskatchewan working with younger generations of athletes.
And my teammate is going to make a pass to me,
What I always tell young girls is just find something that you love and then do that as much as you can. I'm fortunate to have found a love and passion for basketball, and now I'm able to do it in various different capacities and able to share that love with my daughter and now on the world stage.
This weather update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Regina, proud member of the Capital Automotive Group.
And our weather specialist Tyreek Reed joins me now. It's a good thing that the camp is indoors because the smoke quality is still not so great. Air quality, not the smoke quality.
Exactly, Sam. Not so great, unfortunately. We're still dealing with a lot of that. Up to the north, we still have special air quality advisories in place. The air quality advisories that we were seeing down south earlier today have now turned into statements, but as that smoke continues to track southeast over the next 24 hours, we could see more advisories come into effect for our friends down south. So we will be keeping our eye on that. Taking a look at current conditions, still seeing those cooler temperatures for our friends up north as we head down into south and central Saskatchewan. We're being met with much more seasonal conditions with daytime highs around 25 degrees in areas like Regina and Saskatoon. Now, most of the province was met with dry conditions today, but that's quickly changing for our friends to the west. We do have a few systems of showers making its way into the province. We have this one down to the southwest, and this is heading east, and that will continue to head east overnight. So as we wake up tomorrow morning in Saskatoon and southern parts of the province, we could be waking up to some showers, and that could bring thunderstorms along with it. As we head further into tomorrow afternoon, we're going to see another push of rain make its way into central areas of the province and also down south, and that could also bring some thunderstorms along with it as well. We do have some rainfall that we're expecting to the north, but that's not going to be as active for us down south as well. As we head into Sunday, most of that active weather will be to the north, and we'll have a lot of clearing and dry conditions down in south and central Saskatchewan. Now, when we're talking about all of this active and messy weather, we're looking at moderate conditions for us down in southern Saskatchewan, like right here in Regina. That could bring hail and heavy downpours along with it tomorrow afternoon. So keep that in mind as you're planning for your weekend. Right now, we're looking at strong wind gusts to the north, looking at wind gusts at around 45 kilometers an hour. We're also seeing those winds begin to pick up for our friends to the south, to the west, as those systems make its way into the province. Heading into tomorrow, we'll see some winds pick up for us throughout most of the province, actually. And as we head into Sunday, we'll mostly see that to the eastern portions of Saskatchewan. Now, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with that messy weather as we talked about earlier. Heading into Sunday, drier conditions, but then that rainfall comes back in on Monday as we're starting off our week. We're also looking at daytime highs at around 30 degrees on Monday, and that's going to stay consistent as we head further into the week. We're looking at humidex values in the mid-30s, so we'll keep our eye out for any heat warnings that may come up because of that. For our friends in Saskatoon, we're also going to be dealing with that rainfall tomorrow. Drier conditions on Sunday and Monday. That smoke should be clearing out on Sunday as well. But then we're going to be dealing with that heat as we get into next week, Sam.
I have friends getting married tomorrow afternoon. If you could just use your weather magic to hold off the clouds for the ceremony.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm going to talk to Mother Nature right now.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
For sure.
Canadian Blood Services is calling for help. They need donors for need that is increasing, and it's hoping to get 900 new donors in Regina and Saskatoon over the next 2 weeks. Just 80% of appointments are booked each week, and you're particularly in hot demand if you can donate blood and plasma, especially people with O-negative blood since they are universal donors. You can find more at blood.ca. We'll be back after the break. Most infrastructure across the country is the responsibility of municipalities. And today's dramatic water main break in Montreal is not so unique. As the city dries itself out, many experts say there is plenty of blame to go around, and that failures like this are bound to get worse. Rafi Boudjikanian explains.
In Montreal, this is fast becoming a case of deja vu. This flooding was just from the remnants of last week's tropical storm Debbie.
The city said it's not responsible for sewer water. And again, look, my garage door is broken.
And the flash flood flashbacks are hardly limited to Quebec. This was Calgary in June after, yes, a water main break, one that led to drinking water restrictions for weeks. This was Toronto just last month.
We're sort of just barely looking beyond our nose. We need to look more holistic. We need to collect data.
This engineer says it's hard for Canadian cities to know what needs fixing when there's little sense of what exists. It's been 3 years since the federal government announced it's doing a nationwide survey of infrastructure in this country.
I believe that good data and good information and a coherent vision what cannot help but result in better infrastructure decisions and better public policy decisions in general.
Cities say what they want is the money to fix things, recommending a $2.6 billion increase from Ottawa in direct annual transfers to municipalities.
With the unprecedented growth we're seeing, federal and provincial governments' revenues are continuously climbing through income tax and through sales tax, and municipalities are our costs are continuing to rise, and we don't have the source of revenue to continue with that.
But for some observers, the work of putting in new water pipes or even other amenities like public transport require not just money, but time.
These are long-term things and political cycles are shorter. So I think it's hard for politicians to be able to commit beyond their own mandate, beyond their own term. And these are often 5, 8, 10, 20-year commitments. So that's why I think it's important that we collectively embrace this responsibility, recognize it's actually beyond politics.
The federal government says it's already kicking in $2.4 billion for cities, and that does not include billions more for housing and public transport. As for that national infrastructure assessment announced in 2021, Ottawa says it's still on the way, but it has yet to strike the advisory body that will develop the plan. Rafael Bujikanian, CBC News, Ottawa.
And Tyreek is back with one last look at your weather.
Well, it's going to be another smoky and warm night for those of us here in Regina. As we wake up tomorrow morning, dry conditions very early on. And of course, we're going to be dealing with that haze. But as we head into tomorrow afternoon, that's when those showers come in. And of course, we're going to have another push of rain, possibly bringing thunderstorms along with it later on in the afternoon, heading into the evening hours. Over in Saskatoon tonight, another warm night with a lot of that haze as well. As we wake up tomorrow morning, once again, dry conditions, but then most of South and Central Saskatchewan is definitely going to be pushing through that rain tomorrow. So you're going to want to prepare for that as you're heading outside. Sam?
So you didn't talk to Mother Nature in that 4 minutes?
Not yet. Give me some time.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ty.
No problem.
And before we go, some pretty crazy video to share with you. A recent kayaking trip that turned into a rescue mission for two sisters in BC. The pair spotted 2 humpback whales off the coast of Vancouver Island. Those whales were tangled together in a prawn trap, and the kayakers say they heard the whales trumpeting, which is a sign of distress. They called Fisheries and Oceans Canada for some help, and it took them about 5 hours to get the whales out, but in the end, it was a success. And that is it for us this week. For News Anytime, you can head to cbc.ca/sask. You can subscribe to our CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel, or you can download the CBC News app. Thank you so much for watching this week. Have a great weekend.